Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nahyetat paramaschariyam svardhunya yadihoditam ananta charanamboja prasutaya bhavacchidaha. Na, not, he, indeed, etad, this, param, ultimate, āścaryam, wonderful thing, svardhunyaha, of the water of the Ganga, yet, which, iha, herewith, uditam, has been described, ananta, of the Supreme Lord, Charanamboja, from the lotus feet, from the lotus of the feet, Prasutayaha, of that which emanates, Bhavacchidaha, which can liberate from material bondage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Because Mother Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadeva, she is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described herewith about her is not at all wonderful. Purport. It has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganga simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. This is the effect of bathing in the water of the Ganga. Bathing in the Ganga is recommended in all Vedic Shastras, and one who takes to this path will certainly be completely freed from all sinful reactions. The practical example of this is that the sons of Mahārāja Sagara went to the heavenly planets when water from Ganga merely touched the ashes of their burnt bodies. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Datahyam Kada Tisva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripri Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This chapter is titled The Dynasty of Aṁśumān. In that, this shloka comes, Nahyetat paramaschariyam. This is not at all wonderful. Nahi etat paramaschariyam. This is not wonderful. What is not so wonderful? Svardhunya yadihoditam. Regarding the water of Ganga, whatever is said in this world, iha uditam, ihoditam, that which is said, yad ihoditam, about the water of Ganga, svardhunya, that is nahi etat paramaschariyam, that is not wonderful. Whatever is said in this world of the water of Ganga is not at all wonderful. Why? Ananta charanamboja prasutayaha. She has born, she emanates from the lotus feet of Lord Ananta, Lord Vishnu. Ananta Charanamboja Prasutaya. Because of that, Bhavat Siddhaha. Siddha means to cut off, to remove. Bhava means material existence. Bhavat Siddhaha means completely removes the material existence. That means anybody who comes in contact with the water of Ganga, their material existence is gone. Not only that, Srila Prabhupada is saying that material existence is gone means we think that liberation in the next body, a liberation, and they attain spiritual body. But he says that immediately in the present body also will be purified. It will be this is the effect of bathing the water of the Ganga. What is the effect? Srila Prabhupada is saying it has been actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganga simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. So they'll get good health and also gradually one becomes devotee of the Lord. Whoever comes in contact with Ganga, those who take bath regularly. So in all the Vedic scriptures, bathing in Ganga is recommended. Yeah. Because one who takes to this path will certainly be completely freed from all sinful reactions. Knowingly, unknowingly, either in this life, in the past lives, we have committed many sinful actions. The only way to get rid of those sinful actions is like one of the ways and most powerful way is taking bath in Ganga, of course, chanting the holy name of the Lord and doing any of the 9 types of devotional service and especially 5 potent forms of the devotional service. Worshipping Ganga is also comes under Tadiyarchanam. That is, worshipping the Ganga also comes under Tadiyarchanam. That is to worship the Lord's pure devotees. Prabhupada is giving an example. The practical example of this is that the sons of Mahārāja Sagara went to the heavenly planets when water from Ganga merely touched the ashes of their burnt bodies. We all know the story, but briefly we can read from this chapter what happened to the sons of Sagara. Sons of Sagara, they were all cursed. Actually, Sagara performed Ashwamedha Yaga. When he performed Ashwamedha Yaga, he left one horse. So his sons and Indra stole that horse and hidden somewhere. So all Sagara's sons, they went to get back the horse, but they thought that Kapila Muni, who is staying there, actually they dug up the whole Bhumandala. That's why Sagara's sons did. That's why we called Sagara. The ocean formed because of that. And that is the reason why we see the ocean, of course. And they thought that Kapila Muni actually stole the horse and they tried to attack Kapila Muni and they were burned to ashes. It's not that he was angry. It is said because of their own sin, they got burned. Then, who is the son of Sagara? Son of Sagara is Asamanjasa. Asamanjasa, everybody thought that he's a bad guy. Yeah. But it is told that he is actually great yogi in previous birth. Looks like a yoga bhrashta. Means he has performed yoga for a long time and he couldn't complete. Those are the people Bhagavad-gīta calls them yoga bhrashtas. So he was a great mystic yogi, but he had bad association, he had fallen from his exalted position. Now in this birth, he was born in the royal family and was a Jatismara. That means he had special advantage of remembering the past life. Just like how Bharata Maharaja, he became a deer, he remembered the past life. So he was like that, Jatismara. So what he wanted, that he was remembering the past life, he didn't want to become a king, he didn't want to continue as a king. What he was doing is that he was doing always mischievous activities. He was playing with some children Okay? He wanted to look abominable in the eyes of the public, in eyes of father, and also he wants to become unfavorable to his relatives. Everybody, he wanted that in the eyes of public, he had to become like that. Why? Because then they will leave him. So you get out of this place. You cannot be king, you go. So he wanted to really go and perform tapasya and perform austerities, and also he wanted to go back home, back to Godhead. So what he was saying is he was taking the children and throwing them, like in Sarayu river. Then you wonder, what is wrong with this fellow? He is playing with children and is throwing the children. He is killing the children. Then Maharaj told you, get out. No, he had no, of course, he's a great king, Sagara. He didn't understand what this boy was doing. Yeah. So he gave up affection for him and had him exiled. So he said, you get out, because he was doing. This Asamanjasa, because he had mystic yogi in the previous life, he had the same power now also. So when he told, get out, thank you very much, I want to go. Because you thought I killed these people, so I'm bringing all the boys to life. He handed over the boys to their parents and then left Ayodhya. Because he was just wanting some or other reason that his father will ask him to get out. Asamanjasa was a Jatismara. Because of his mystic power, he did not forget his previous consciousness. Thus, he could give life to the dead. By exhibiting wonderful activities in relation to dead children, he certainly attracted the attention of the king and the people in general. Then he left that place immediately. They thought, oh, this person is actually so great. He was a yogi. He really killed them, apparently, but he brought everybody to life. Maybe we've made a mistake. So they were thinking like that, but he left Ayodhya. Yeah. When the inhabitants of Ayodhya saw that the boys had come back to life, they were astounded. And King Sagara greatly lamented the absence of his son. He thought, Sagara thought, what a mistake I made. This boy could have helped all my children, the other children who died due to the offense they have done against Kapila Muni. He could have actually brought something he could have done, he could have delivered them. But because he brought dead to the life. But anyway, he left. He was feeling bad. Now, Aṁśumān comes. So, Aṁśumān is son of Asamanjasa. He is the grandson of Maharaj Sagara. Was ordered by the king to search for the horse. You go and search. Basically, they went, they died, but they didn't know what happened to the horse. He was doing the yajna. And the horse is stolen by Indra and kept it there. And they dug the whole earth. They died because they thought Kapila Muni stole the horse, and Kapila Muni burned them to ashes. Now, he went to the same path. Finally, he gradually reached the stack of ashes and found the horse nearby. He saw the horse. He saw this, they're burnt to ashes, stack of ashes, because 60,000 people were there. And then also finally he saw Kapila Muni there. He did not think like them, that Kapila Muni is the killer of these people or Kapila Muni stole the horse. The great Aṁśumān saw the sage named Kapila, the saint who is an incarnation of Vishnu, sitting there by the horse. Aṁśumān offered him respectful obeisances, folded his hands, and offered him prayers with great attention. So he started offering prayers with great attention. We'll read together. Aṁśumānuvaca napasyati tvam paramatmano jano nabhudyate dhyapi samadhi yuktibihi kuto paretasya manasharirajhi visarga srishta vayama prakasha. Aṁśumān said, my Lord, even Lord Brahma is to this very day unable to understand your position, which is far beyond myself, either by meditation or by mental speculation. So what to speak of others like us, who have been created by Brahma in various forms as devatas, animals, human beings, birds and beasts? We are completely in ignorance. Therefore, how can we know you who are the transcendents? He was praying like this. Also he says, Yadeha bhajastriguna pradhana gunan vipasyanti utavatamasya yanmayaya mohita chetasastvam vidusva samstam nabahi prakasha. My Lord, you are fully situated in everyone's heart, but the living entities covered by the material body cannot see you. For they are influenced by the external energy conducted by the three modes of material nature. Their intelligence being covered by Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. They can see only the actions and reactions of these three modes of material nature. Because of the actions and reactions of the mode of ignorance, whether the living entities are awake or sleeping, they can see only the workings of material nature. They cannot see your Lordship. Then he is saying, Tam tvamaham jnanaganam svabhavam pradvastamaya gunabheda mohai sanandanadyair munibher vibhavyam katham vimuda paribhavayami. O my Lord, sages from the influence of the three modes of material nature, sages such as the four Kumaras, Sanat, Sanaka, Sanandana and Sanatana are able to think of you who are concentrated knowledge. But how can an ignorant person like me think of you? I cannot think of you because they made the mistake that they thought is they are ignorant people. They're all fathers, grandfathers to him. They made a mistake. And they thought you are an ordinary person, but you are not an ordinary person. You are Supreme Lord Himself. Prashantamaya gunakarma lingam anamarupam sadasad vimuktam jnanopadeshaya grihita deham namamahe tvam purusham puranam. O completely peaceful Lord, although material nature, fruitive activities and their consequent material names and forms are your creation, you are unaffected by them. Therefore, your transcendental name is different from material names and your form is different from material forms. You assume a form resembling a material body just to give us instructions like those of Bhagavad Gita, but actually you are the supreme original person. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tvanmaya rachite loke vastu buddhya grihadishu Brahmanti kama lobheshya moha vibhranta chetasa. O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy and illusion are interested only in false hearth and home in this world created by your Maya. Attached to home, wife and children, they wander in this material world perpetually. Adhyana sarva bhutanam kama kamendriyashayah moha paso drudaschinno bhagavam stavadarshanat. O super soul of all living entities, O personality of Godhead, simply by seeing you, I have now been freed from all lusty desires, which are the root cause of insurmountable illusion and bondage in the material world. Like this, he prayed, glorified Lord Kapila with all these wonderful verses. Then Kapiladev, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he was very merciful to him, explained to him the path of knowledge. Not only how to deliver his forefathers, actually he told how he can deliver himself. The Supreme Lord said, My dear Aṁśumān, here is the animal sought by your grandfather for sacrifice. This is the horse that Sagara, your grandfather, sent, and he was doing Ashwamedha Yajna. Please take it. As for your forefathers who have been burnt to ashes, they can be delivered only by Ganga water and not by any other means. He said, you have to bring Ganga. Only Ganga can deliver these people. That is what is told to Aṁśumān. Thereafter, Aṁśumān circumambulated Kapila Muni and offered him respectful obeisances, bowing his head. After fully satisfying him in this way, Aṁśumān brought back the horse meant for sacrifice, and with the horse Mahārāja Sahara performed the remaining ritualistic ceremonies. See, 3 generations over, his yajna is not complete. He had to take back the horse he had to complete. So Sagara now completed. He didn't come personally because he was performing the yajna. Yeah. So he sent his sons to bring the horse. Then he sent Aṁśumān because Asamanjasa was left Ayodhya by performing those abominable activities. He was exiled. So almost his third generation. So he went, he couldn't bring. After delivering charge of his kingdom to Aṁśumān and thus being freed from all material anxiety and bondage, Sagara Mahāraja, following the means instructed by Aurva Muni, achieved the supreme destination. So he became now Vanaprastha. He handed over the kingdom to Aṁśumān. He said, Aṁśumān, now you have to take care of these people. You have to deliver them. My sons who died, your forefathers, and also take care of the citizens nicely. I am leaving. He went. So Aurva Muni gave, just like Kapila Muni gave knowledge to Aṁśumān, Aurva Muni gave knowledge to Maharaj Sagara. He left. In fact, his name is Sagara because he was to be killed by his stepmothers by executing poison. Gara means poison. And Sagara, he was born along with the poison, but he did not die. That is there in the previous chapter. So his name is Sagara. So now, next, what Aṁśumān did. Sukadeva Goswami continued. King Aṁśumān, like his grandfather, performed austerities for a very long time. Nonetheless, he could not bring the Ganga to this material world, and thereafter, in due course of time, he died. Aṁśumān performed tapasya, and he died. Aṁśumān's son is Dilīpa. He also was doing austerities to bring Ganga, but he was unable to bring Ganga to the material world. He also died in due course of time. And Dilīpa's son is Bhagīratha. He performed so many austerities to bring the Ganga to material world. That is elaborately described in Ramayana and also briefly in other places, how Bhagīratha performed tapasya. Then finally, Mother Ganga is happy with King Bhagīratha and said, I am very much satisfied with your austerities and I am now prepared to give you benedictions as you desire. Being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, the king bowed his head before her and explained his desire. He said, she's asking, what can I do for you? He said, you have to deliver my forefathers who are burned to ashes because of disrespecting Kapila Muni. Actually, Kapila Muni, it is told that because they disrespected Kapila Muni, because of that offense, they were burned. Not that Kapila Muni is angry at them and they were burned to ashes. It is told. Supreme Lord cannot be subjected to anger, which is the quality of the mode of passion. So it is told. Mother Ganga replied, when I fall from the sky to the surface of the planet Earth, the water will certainly be very forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatala, the Patala area of the universe. If I am coming so force to this material world, I might just fall and this earth will be drowned and it will be taken to Rasatala. So somebody has to hold me, stop my force, she says. O king, I do not, and another thing she says, O king, I do not wish to go down to the planet Earth, for there the people in general will bathe in my water to cleanse themselves of the reactions of their sinful deeds. When all these sinful reactions accumulate in me, how shall I become free from them? You must consider this very carefully. Two concerns. One is, when I come with great force, nobody can stop me. Because of that, earth will be damaged. It will go to Rasatala. And second thing is, if I come there, everybody will take bath and I have to accumulate all sinful reactions. I don't want to. She says her this thing. Here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Ganga is actually comparing to like with the spiritual master. Supreme Lord says, I will take care of all your sins. Nobody else can say. See, Ganga is also not saying that I'll take care of all your sins. She is afraid. So, even Mother Ganga feared the sinful reactions of the people in general and was anxious about how she would counteract the burden of these sins. Yeah, only a spiritual master and the Supreme Lord are not afraid of delivering the surrendered soul, making them rid of their sins. Bhagīratha is saying, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order, free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulative principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior and are able to deliver all fallen souls. When such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted. For such devotees always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions. They take bath. Then you will be freed. It's not only sinners, the devotees also take bath. When the devotees, the pure devotees take bath, your sins will be counteracted. He's telling. First concern addressed, second one first, because that is the most difficult one. And the first one he is telling, like a cloth woven of threads, extending for its length and breadth, this entire universe in all its latitude and longitude is situated under different potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is the incarnation of the Lord, and thus he represents the super soul in the embodied soul. He can sustain your forceful waves on his head. He says only Lord Shiva can do that. After saying this, Bhagīratha satisfied. Then now he had to do, see, all these years he has done tapasya for Ganga. Now he is doing tapasya for Lord Shiva. After saying this, Bhagīratha satisfied Lord Shiva by performing austerities. O King Parikshit, Lord Shiva was very quickly satisfied with Bhagīratha. So finally he agreed. When King Bhagīratha approached Lord Shiva and requested him to sustain the forceful waves of Ganga, Lord Shiva accepted the proposal by saying, let it be so. See, Lord Shiva then, with great attention, he sustained Ganga on his head, for the water of the Ganga is purifying, having emanated from the toes of Lord Vishnu. Because, why he kept on his head? Because it's coming from the toes of Lord Vishnu, because Charanamrit he kept on his head. So, Lord Shiva is not husband of Ganga, as many people thinking. Did this to save everybody. See, 2 times Lord Shiva saved everyone. One time by taking poison, Samudra Manthan past time, and now here again. Because if he wouldn't hold Ganga, everybody, including the earth, will be destroyed. The great and saintly King Bhagīratha brought the Ganga, which can deliver all the fallen souls, to that place on earth where the bodies of his forefathers lay burned to ashes. He finally brought. Bhagīratha mounted a swift chariot and drove before Mother Ganga, who followed him, purifying many countries until they reached the ashes of Bhagīratha's forefathers, the sons of Sagara, who were thus sprinkled with water from the Ganga. So like this. Finally, he was successful. You know, Sagara could not do. Sagara's children who tried, they died. Asamanjasa left. Aṁśumān tried. Dilīpa tried. He couldn't do. Now, Bhagīratha did. Because the sons of Sagara Maharaja had offended a great personality, the heat of their bodies had increased and they were burned to ashes. It's not because of Kapila. Their own karma. Because when they made offense against Kapila Muni, they thought he's a thief, stole their horse, and they blasphemed him. They were burned to ashes. But simply by being sprinkled with the water from the Ganga, all of them became eligible to go to the heavenly planets. What then is to be said of those who use the water of Mother Ganga to worship her? See, they have gone back to, of course, their position. They went to heaven planets, and it's also said then that they're delivered. Maybe they went to heaven and they went back home, back to Godhead after that. Then, what about those people who worship Ganga every day? So every day, actually, even before we do Achaman for purification, Achamana mantra itself is there. Gange Yamune Chaiva Godavari, Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalasmin Sannidhim Kuru, like that. And all the time, like every day we take Ganga water, we put it on ourselves. To purify everything, we put Ganga water. And those who worship Ganga like this, what will happen to them? That's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Mother Ganga is worshipped by the water of Ganga. How to worship Ganga? If you want to worship Ganga, nothing else we can offer. We'll take Ganga water and offer to Ganga. A devotee takes a little water from the Ganga and offers it back to the Ganga. When the devotee takes the water, Mother Ganga does not lose anything. And when the water is offered back, Mother Ganga does not increase. But in this way, the worshipper of Ganga is benefited. Similarly, a devotee of the Lord offers the Lord Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, a leaf, flower, fruit, or water in great devotion. But everything, including the leaf, flower, fruit, and water, belongs to the Lord, and therefore there is nothing to renounce or to accept. One must simply take advantage of the bhakti process, because by following the process, one does not lose anything, but one gains the favor of the Supreme Person. By giving little Ganga water, we are not doing favor to Ganga. We are purifying. Similarly, by giving Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam to the Lord, like we get favor with the Supreme Person. Simply by having water from Ganga come in contact with the ashes of their burnt bodies, the sons of Sagara Mahāraja were elevated to the heavenly planets. Therefore, what is to be said of a devotee who worships Mother Ganga faithfully with a determined hope? One can only imagine the benefit that accrues to such a devotee. So, they were simply touch of Ganga after so many years of death to the ashes, they were benefited. That's why when someone dies, we take those ashes, we put them in Ganga. Even though these ashes are there in Ganga, everybody takes, but sometimes if you have money, people do final rites and then take those ashes and put in Ganga. Many times when there is no money, simply dead bodies are thrown in Ganga. Some animals are dying, some cow, some buffalo, something, simply throw in Ganga. We have seen many times floating in Ganga. Even then, Ganga is pure, because Ganga is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. Anything in contact with Ganga also becomes liberated, pure. So it is told right in Nectar of Devotion. In the rainy season, Budbhuda Fena Pankai, Ganga has foam, Ganga has bubbles, like and also Budbhuda Fena Pankai, and the mud Ganga has. So even then Ganga is pure. Similarly, pure devotee is always pure, it is said like that. And now comes this verse, Nahyetat Paramaschyaryam Svardhunyaya Dihoditam Ananta Charanam Bhoja Prasutaya Bhavatchidaha. Because Mother Ganga emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadeva. She is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described here about her is not at all wonderful. So, anything we say about Ganga is not wonderful, because she can deliver everyone. Yesterday alone, there were 10 crores of people who were gathered. Unfortunately, some of them left their body because of the stampede from 30 people, and then another maybe few hundred people got injured or something like that. Some number is not sure, but still people are coming in great numbers to take bath. It is unfortunate whatever happened, despite having the great arrangements. But still many are going to take bath, participate in this festival, and also please Ganga, and thus and by pleasing Ganga pleases Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way one can be delivered. So once again, this festival, I told, it's happening once in 144 years. It will not come again in our lifetime unless you have a very long life. Like if possible, we should go and take bath in Ganga. Hare Krishna, I'll stop now. Anybody has any questions, comments, please.
Using Ganga water for purifying.
Yeah.
Even things which can be offered in Agni. But it is also considered as Charnam and things. So it purifies the offered things with itself is offered in one sense.
Why we are already that which is offered to the Supreme Lord, why we are purifying with Ganga water? I don't know. Prasadam offered, again we are putting Ganga water.
We offer incense.
Okay.
Purifying our we use Ganges water.
Okay. That is not to purify the bhoga or the prasad. That is purify ourselves, because one time we offered, right, something. If we are offering next article, so then we actually do achaman, like and people also put Ganga water. Yeah, it's not the Ganga water. The procedure, basically bhoga and prasada should not be mixed together. If you are offered bhoga to the Lord, something, that becomes prasad. Next again you are offering bhoga, like no, then you wash your hand and again offer. So because it's a constant process that we will be doing, so people put some Ganga water. In general, water is also considered, the taste of water especially, is the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashuryayo. But Ganga water is the Lord's charanamrita, because Ganga is coming from the toenails of the Lord. All water is good, but Ganga water is most pure. Hare Krishna.